appreciate everybody coming out on a hot night like this to have see our first meeting here at the Bristol Public Library. And we're going to have a little talk tonight from Carol from the library and Rosemary, and appreciate everybody coming out. Then a little bit later we'll show some pictures and tell some stories, hopefully. So Carol, you got the floor.
Yay! Thank you. So I'm Carol Reeves, director of the library, and Rosemary I have loved for years, and she trusted us with money to make this room a history center for Bristol. So I have a little outline here. So everybody here knows that Rosemary collects history. So when you collect history, there's lots and lots of physical things. And as a history buff, she loves to share history. So, so that collected history can live on. So she came to me, a couple years ago, and wanted to donate money to make a history center for Bristol with, mainly because she has so much. She just has a lot. And so I was
it's
more than
not
happy.
All here.
No, it's not all here. It's not all here. So we were thrilled. So I talked to the board, who was thrilled. And working with Rosemary couldn't be any easier, because she says, just do what you want. So we did what we wanted. And then we kept it from her so that she wouldn't see it until it was finished. So that was actually fun. Yeah, it was. I was going to say fun, but yeah.
That was hard to do because I kept asking.
Yeah, she kept asking. Yeah, so anyway, so from this donation, we had a small room in the library that when I became the director like 7 years ago, we turned that into our history room, which is a very small room because we didn't have a lot. Because we're fortunate to be right across the street from the Historical Society, but we had things that the Historical Society didn't, and I just wanted to separate it a little bit. So we were able to move that collection then into this room. There's a lot of empty shelves because, like, there's a cart right there. We have to re-catalog and relabel everything, and so it's kind of a process. So I have someone that just graduated from college who used to work here several years ago, and I have made her the official recatalog or relabeling, so it's getting done a lot faster now. Rosemary has also been adding to our shelves. Just yesterday, she added 19 more books.
Notebooks.
Notebooks, yeah, the black notebooks. My husband's going to have to raise the shelves because they don't quite fit, so he will do that. But that is all of Rosemary's collection of the Alkalizer, which was a publication of Miles Labs.
From 1930 through 1990s I've got there.
It's really interesting. It's, yeah, there's a lot there. It's really interesting to look at the really early ones. And like, I didn't realize that Miles was like all over the world, and there was this, it was really an interesting collection. So Rosemary worked at Miles for 50 years, if anybody doesn't know that. She was the only woman to travel the country to do trade shows, and she was in charge of promotional items. So when there were promotional items, Rosemary would grab the leftovers. So we are very fortunate to have this amazing collection of Miles memorabilia, especially Alka-Seltzer, which I would bet Miles is most known for Alka-Seltzer. So yeah, we were very lucky to have all these. Now my husband's the one that built the room, and so I found this showcase on Facebook Marketplace where I find so many treasures. And so I told him, I said, you have to drive to Michigan to pick up this showcase. Okay, so he drives to Michigan, and I get a phone call when he gets there. It won't fit in the door, it's too tall. And I'm like, well, you're just gonna have to make it work, because that is perfect, and the price was great, and so he took it to our house, and he cut off the top, and he cut off the bottom, and he added huge casters, and he added the crown molding back, and then he didn't realize, I'm sure I didn't either, but I'll blame it on him, that it lifts, and so it's a weighted system in the back. So it works now, and he got it in the room, and there wasn't a lot of cussing, so that was that was really good. Yeah. But the pictures around the top, Rosemary and her son waited at Chris Brown's auction, and they waited there a long time to get the bigger pictures around the room. So we renamed the room the Sherwin-Sanger History Meeting Center because it still be used as a meeting room. And these are Rosemary's relatives who immigrated here in the 1800s. There's a picture of her grandfather up there with the cow on the post. Rosemary showed me the most detailed journal, like the family tree of cows. And it's really interesting. Yeah, the family tree of cows, yes. Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, the book is ancient and it's really cool looking, but yeah, he has it all detailed out, all the cows' relatives. So I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but Rosemary had so much Miles memorabilia that she had a storage unit of nothing but Miles memorabilia that we've managed to whittle down by bringing some stuff in here. And she also has more in her garage that we'll be going through and bringing more things in. Some people have started donating some things. I tried to separate it. So this is Bristol history in this little room, and this is supposed to be like Rosemary's grandfather's office. Is kind of how we laid it out. And someone donated a phonograph that actually works, which is pretty cool. And then we separated Indiana authors, Elkhart County history, and then Indiana history on the back wall. And
we need taller shelves.
And we need taller shelves. And we will get taller shelves.
So
yes, we will.
All my stuff goes in binders. That's the only way to keep it.
Yeah, she always puts them in plastic, so it stays really, really nice. John also donated up here. It's Amelia Earhart. It's a first edition Amelia Earhart that's signed. And it's interesting, that book has an actual little record in it where you can listen to Amelia Earhart, but Marilyn's cousin or aunt. Yeah. The book, was it Marilyn's aunt, I think? Got that autographed when it first came out. So anyway, thanks to Rosemary, we have this wonderful, wonderful room that will be filling the shelves, and yeah.
And this isn't historical, but for me it is. The walnut that the shelves are made out of come off my property.
Yes.
Jim and Aaron Smart came up and logged out my big black walnut, and they sent it to a sawmill and processed it, and that's where all the shelves came from. So I'm happy at that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Your dad would be very proud of that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there are many small communities that have a place like this
No,
that
I don't think so,
can be a depository for the history, because so much of it is pushed away, pushed off somewhere to a museum, like you were talking about.
Yes, more things. Jim actually, he came up with the idea for this, the ticket booth. Rosemary has a bus schedule, so if anybody ever sees a trolley schedule, if we could have a copy of it. So if anyone would like to use this room, please feel free. We have a meeting room book scheduled. If you want to come in and do some research, you're more than welcome.
I just wanted to bring you up to date on who I am and why I'm doing this. My Bristol, in the cemetery, the Bonneville Cemetery, is buried Rebecca Barrett Bacon Sanger, whose husband is buried there, and he is the Sanger Jr. his father out east was in the Revolutionary War, but he's the son. And my dad would take me to the Bonneville Cemetery lots of times, and I would see all the people and learn who my relatives were. And a friend and I were there cleaning the stones, which we've done most of all of this one row is my Sangers and Sherwins. And the cemetery was in terrible shape. It was overgrown with weeds, and it was just awful. And there was a new, what do they call them? People that... Curator. Anyway, so I had her number, and I called her, and I said, I'm standing in this cemetery, and it's almost Memorial Day, and I am just appalled with how unkempt it is. Well, she had just become the new one, and she said, I'm coming out to meet you. So she came, she brought a man with a mower, he mowed the place, and she has done wonderful things. She's put up a new fence, she's put drives in it. I mean, she's just done a wonderful, wonderful job.
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah, so I said that, that's it. Yeah, a lot of my relatives are buried there, but a lot of other people are buried there too. Actually, there's a grave for Bonnie. We're not sure if he actually got buried there, but there is a stone for that. But it's a fascinating cemetery if you want to go see it. It's all cleaned up now. You can even drive in and drive around and drive out. I mean, it's wonderful. She did a marvelous job.
And there's more spaces available.
Oh, there are 60 lots for sale available there. And the last 2 that were sold were my cousins in Middlebury.
You aren't selling lots.
Well, she is selling lots, but there are 60 lots available, and a couple of my relatives from Middlebury have bought in the cemetery. And she said, well, my cousin said to me, well, I thought that you had to be a Sanger or Sherwin to be buried here. I said, there are a lot of them, yes, but there are other people buried here too. Yeah. And there are 60 available. If anybody wants to be buried in the old ground, then
2 for 1. How much are they?
I don't think the lots are that much compared to other places, but it's a cool cemetery. If you've not been there, it's all cleaned up, and you can go in and drive in and see it. Yeah, she did a great job. So anyway, my great-grandfather, Lucas Marvin Sanger, whom I have a painted portrait of him at my house, and the reason he has a painted portrait, I figure, is because he was the Sanger with the money. But the other thing is he's frowning in this picture, and I figured that's because the Sherwins spent the money. So, but it's yeah, it's a good story. I mean, I have lots of stories. You ever want to come and just come visit me and look at the stuff? I've got more stuff there. It'll end up here eventually, but I mean, it's from being a little girl. My father was 56 when I was born. He had no live relatives. And he married my mother, who was 30, and lived on the adjoining farm out by Bonneville. And my mother said, she told me this, I'm going to get that man. And by golly, she did. She was 30, and he was 56 when I was born. So, but it was really cool. And he took me out to Bonneville all the time, and we always went to the homecoming and everything. I mean, Bristol was his place. So I've got lots of history stories, and I've got lots of stuff. Anybody wants to come visit, I can show you the stuff I've got, and we can talk. And this stuff I last brought here are the alkalizers from Miles Laboratories from 1930 through 1990s. They are now in chronological orders in those notebooks. I have an index, and I have them all done. I will have an index at the front desk, and I will have an index wherever Jim builds us a place that we can stand the notebooks up. So, yeah. But you'd be amazed, like you think, a lot of people that live in Bristol or came from Bristol, their relatives work there. At one time, there were over 2,000 people working there. So when I left, there were very few. The building that I left in 2011, and when I left, there were maybe 60, 70 people. Well, then they brought in some people from Mishawaka. There were 200 people there. They had bought the whole building, and then one day, they said in New Jersey, we're closing you down, we're bringing the jobs there, and that's it. And so there's nothing now. So, yeah, it's very sad. The people that ended up owning it was Merck. Now, Miles bought Merck, but Merck ended up running the place. So that's what happened to it. But I have many memories. I have many things from Miles. I have, the books there. You can look and find they're by year, so you can find some of your relatives that might have worked there. So anyway, yeah, they're just fun to look at, starting in the 30s. The 30s and 40s ones are fascinating.
Yes.
I was lucky. Dolores Cogan was in charge of that department, and she said I could come and take out of the files one if there was an extra one, and if there wasn't, I would Xerox it. So I got all of them that I could from the 30s up through the 90s. So anyway, that's it.
The smaller history room that we had in there, we're going to turn that into a living history room, and we're working with Larry or you know his last name. We're working with Larry.
This fellow behind the mask.
Yeah, that right there. So that we already have the computer purchased, and so that people can go in that room and pull up Rosemary McDaniel, and there'll be, you know, Rosemary talking, and so.
That's a terrific idea.
Well, it's the Larry App Living History Room. Is what we've already
Cool.
come up with the thing. So.
And I just want to say, if anybody is in town and they want to come over and have me look for some things, I found some amazing things for people. Linda can tell me that they don't even know. And you start looking and you go, oh my gosh, I didn't know